All right, guys, welcome to 20 Minutes of Fitness. I'm Bryce. I'm on my own today. Paul is in lovely Maui, so he couldn't partake today. Today we're going over CrossFit Open WOD 21.3. So I don't know if you see that. 21.3, and then the surprise 21.4. So we've got two parts this week. Kind of nice in a shortened open season. We only have 3 weeks. It's nice to have at least 4 scores. So usually we have 5, if not 6 scores. So it's kind of nice they threw that extra one in there, make it kind of feel like we've got a overall test of fitness. First one, we'll talk about 21.3. We start out with 15 front squats, go to 30 toes to bar, 15 thrusters, and then we have a minute rest. Okay, that minute rest is going to be important. That's going to allow us to push pretty hard on those thrusters. After your minute rest, round 2 starts. Once again, 15 front squats. Front squat and thruster weight always stays the same, 95 for the guys, 65 for the ladies. After your front squats, 30 chest to bar. So we've gone from toes to bar, now we're doing chest to bar, same number, 30. And then 15 thrusters once again with a 1 minute rest. So again, going hard on those thrusters, pick it up in the rest. Last round, 15 more front squats. Now we're going to bar muscle ups, 30 of them once again, big number there. And then 15 thrusters to end it. That is the end of 21.3. You have a 15-minute time cap, so if you don't make it through all that, you're done at 15 minutes, and then 21.4 starts from there. You have 7 minutes on that. If you finish under the time cap, let's say it takes you 10 minutes, well, your 7 minutes starts from there, so you would go to 17 minutes, right? So this is kind of like what we thought we would see this week. Wednesday's workout was very similar, except there were no front squats, it was thrusters, and the thruster weight actually went up. The toes to bar, chest to bar, bar muscle up were all there in almost the same numbers. A little bit more bar muscle ups in this one. We got 12 more bar muscle ups. But you're not having that barbell weight go up, so that's actually going to end up, the barbell is going to be a little bit easier as opposed to Wednesday's workout. That barbell got really heavy, and that actually stopped some people. If you came close to finishing on Wednesday, you're going to finish today. If you watched the open announcement, they had the Panchek brothers. They did pretty well. 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes, all 3 of them, right? Or less. I think Scott was just under 8 minutes. Crazy. Then Sam Briggs, same thing, 8:33, I think. She did it with Elijah Muhammad, and if you saw him do it, I kind of got disheartened when I saw him do a 12:30 or 12:20, something like that, because this guy's a multi-time games athlete, and I said, uh-oh, if he's getting that close, 12 minutes in, 4 more minutes than Sam, the average athlete, even slightly above average athletes, are going to have a real hard time finishing this. I then looked up Easy's score on 21.1 and 2. I'm about 2,000 places ahead of him, so he's not doing very good this year. So whether he's not training or whether injured or whatever the case may be, doesn't really matter. Still a fit guy. He's still clean 315 a few times today. But don't judge your time on his metabolic conditioning. He's not there this year. So if you're anywhere around that 10,000 rank, you're going to finish this with some time left, okay? If muscle ups is a weakness of you, that's probably gonna stretch it out a little bit. Obviously you need muscle ups to finish this, so if you're looking to get through the chest to bar, then you're probably gonna be stopped at that muscle up anyway. There's gonna be a lot of PRs in this workout. That's what I like about this a lot. Let's see, a lot of people, they're gonna PR their toe to bar. Maybe people don't have a toe to bar. This is gonna give it to them in a workout. They're probably gonna go on to get a bunch of them. Same thing with the chest to bar pull up. You get one, you're probably gonna get a few. If you're good at those movements and your conditioning is pretty decent, you're going to get to the bar muscle up. So even if you've only done 0 or you've been close, or maybe 1 or 2 bar muscle ups in your life, this is one that you can rack up a good number. And every one is going to be a lot of places on that leaderboard. So keep trying. That first attempt at that bar muscle up, that's the one you give it your all, okay? That way you've got a lot of time. Once you get that first one under your cap, you just keep adding to it, right? Don't wait till the last second to get your first one. Let's talk about these movements a little bit, things that'll help you. The front squat, that's that first thing. Save your wrists, right? We want to save our wrists. So we're going to wear grips. We're going to wear wrist wraps. We want to save the grips, save the hands, and save that wrist. On the front squat, try this. That's going to help you. Or take the arms off, something like that. If you have trouble with the wrists, just don't be married to that. Get those hands off the bar. They don't need to be there. It's a lightweight, 95, 65 throughout. That's a good one on the front squats. Lifters, some people always like to wear lifters when they do thrusters, front squats. I would say yes to lifters if they are lifters that are made more for CrossFit. Don't wear, the wooden Olympic weightlifting lifters that weigh, a pound and a half. The old Nike Romelos, Romelo 2s, those are heavy as hell. They're gonna eat you up on the toes to bar, not necessarily the pull-ups, but the muscle-ups. That adds a lot of weight at the farthest part of your body. So kind of play with those lifters as needed. In the second part, for the heavy lifting, if you clean with lifters, yeah, switch them. You're gonna need rest anyway after the first part. So you could switch to those lifters in the second half. I don't like lifters for cleans. I like them for snatches, so I'm not gonna go with lifters. I'll just go normal Metcons. Knee sleeves for the front squats, definitely. We're squatting 90 times in 21.3. So knee sleeves might help you just get a little bit more spring in it. And then a belt. This whole workout is very intensive on the core. From the get-go, anything in the front rack position, that's gonna tax the core. Then we're going right to 30 toes to bar, that's gonna attack it. And then at the end in 21.4, when you have to catch that bar and go for that second clean, that's really gonna attack you. And if your core is gone, you're gonna have trouble hitting that jerk, right? So it's kind of an accumulated thing that's gonna kick you in the ass at the end. So if you can, wear a belt, one that loosens and tightens easily so that you can tighten it down for the front squats, thrusters, and then loosen it so you can do all your bar work. Don't get caught up with taking it off, putting it on. You can lose 10, 20 seconds putting a belt on. You're better off without one if that's the case, if you don't have an easy belt to tighten, loosen while it's on, okay? So that's kind of with the lifters. It's can you do it quickly and efficiently? That's going to be the key. Definitely wear it in 21.4. All right, so front squats, toes to bar. Tips on toes to bar, break them up. 30 toes to bar, while it's not a huge number, it's a pretty big number. Most people practice 20 to 30 toes to bar and that's pretty normal rep range. But it's at the beginning of the workout. There's no prizes for getting through the toes to bar first. I would break them up into 2 or 3 sets. Good way to break it up is 12, 10, 8. I like that break up for the 30. You come down after 12, quick break. You're going up for a smaller number, quick break, and then an even smaller number. That could get those done real quick. I've seen people hang on the bar to try to get to 30. They come down, they take 20 seconds before they could do anything because they kind of overextended themselves. Meanwhile, the guy that's doing singles next to him, fast singles, knocking those out, passes them, right? And they're not gassed. Which leads me to you people that aren't super awesome on the pull-up bar with toes to bar or chest to bar pull-ups. Set up at a pull-up bar that's at about grip height with your feet on the ground. That's gonna allow you to have your feet on the ground, no jumping, and then you could start that forward kip. Your feet will come up off the ground in the back, which they have to behind the rig, and then you get that first, you get that rebound swing to get those toes to the bar, and then right back down to the ground. There's no jumping. Avoid everything you can to be jumping to a bar. Like this one is about 10 inches above my reach. I don't even know if you could see that, probably not, but I definitely don't want to be jumping 10 inches every time I want to go up to do a set of toes to bar. So definitely have it set up so you can do singles, okay? So next up, you have a 1 minute break. Oh, I'm sorry, you have thrusters, 15 thrusters. You wanna do these unbroken. Front squats and thrusters, do them unbroken. It costs a lot to pick the bar up into that front rack. And you have a minute break afterwards, so kind of push through and then get the rest on the backside. If you're gonna break somewhere, it's in the pull-up bar work because it doesn't take much, especially if you don't have to jump, to just grab that bar and stand on the ground. But picking up a bar, even at 95, 65, that's an extra rep of something that you're not getting any credit for, so don't do it. Squat clean your first thruster and your first front squat, with that said, because you don't want to do a power clean. That's a lot of effort. Then you're gonna stand there, you're gonna waste time. Go right into that first squat clean. That's your first rep, or squat clean thruster. 1 minute break, breathe, pour some water on your head, cool down, whatever. Get ready for your next set of front squats. Know you're gonna do that unbroken as well. Get to those chest to bar pull-ups, start knocking out some sets. If you can't do big sets, again, do singles. Wide grip guys on chest to bar, that's gonna help you get that chest to the bar a little bit easier versus you narrow, you're jamming yourself up, especially if you're not very flexible guys in general. We got another set of thrusters, same thing, unbroken, get through them and get to that minute break and then get into that last round. This is where most people are going to spend most of their time. You've got 15 front squats, cool. Do them, nice pace, then get to that bar muscle up. This is where you're probably, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a big set to begin with. Don't do too big a set where you're huffing and puffing coming off of it. Leave 1 or 2 in the tank. So let's say I could do 6, I'm gonna do 4, I'm gonna come down, shake it out, I'm gonna do 3. You come up with a little rep scheme where you do maybe 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. You're gonna get into ones if you're not super awesome at muscle ups, or your cardio isn't grade A. So plan on that. 30 in a row is a lot. If you've done 30 muscle ups for time, then you kind of know how long it takes you when you're fresh. So you could probably add, add a good 25 to 30% to that time, and that's going to kind of tell you how long it's going to take you at the end of a workout, right? You'll be pretty taxed after your muscle ups. Remember, you have 15 thrusters left before that workout ends, okay? And then immediately from the end of that last thruster, you've got 21.4. So 21.4 is a complex. This is awesome. Barbell complexes have been a staple in CrossFit forever. In most people's gyms and training, they're doing complexes of all kinds of stuff. This is the first time I think we've seen it in the games, open games, whatever you want to call it. We've got 1 deadlift, so bar starting on the ground. We've got 1 deadlift, stand it up, back down to the ground, clean, any kind of clean here, you don't have to squat, and then hang clean into a jerk, okay? So kind of what we thought we would see, maybe a 1 rep max thruster or a 1 rep max clean. They've kind of been thrown in together. So that's what we were actually hoping to see here. This is gonna separate those that are super strong from those that are not. So let's see, things we need. This is where you put your lifters on. If you clean with lifters, if you need lifters, if you're going into the squat clean, put those lifters on. A belt, knee sleeves, these are all gonna help you. Wrist wraps, lose the grips, you don't need grips. Same barbell as your thruster front squat bar, so you can't use 2 barbells. You also can't have somebody help you with the barbell. So nobody's allowed to touch your barbell throughout the workout. Loading, controlling it, all that stuff, you're on your own. Pay attention to that if somebody's working out next to you, if that barbell goes bouncing over, it's up to you to touch it. Your judge actually shouldn't touch it. With that said, judges, if you see somebody's losing their bar and it's going into somebody else's thing, give it a kick so it doesn't hit somebody else. Obviously, safety first, right? So we start out this complex. We have 7 minutes time cap on the complex from whenever you finish 21.3. So if you're time capped, it's 7 minutes from that. If you finished under the time cap, it's 7 minutes from that. 7 minutes, what does that tell us? That gives us about 2 minutes of rest. The guys on the video, on the release, did around 2 to 2.5 minutes rest before they touch that bar, or before they cleaned it. You have to load your bar in that time if you're changing your shoes too. Those couple minutes will go quick, but this is still gonna give you about 5 minutes of lifting. You wanna kind of plan on 3 or 4 lifts would be ideal. You do not have to, every time you touch the bar, complete the complex. So me, I'm gonna put some weight on the bar. I'm gonna clean it. I'm gonna drop it. You saw Elijah Muhammad did that in the announcement. Because he knows, he's just trying to feel the weight. He knows he can do 225 at that weight, so he's gonna just feel the weight. In your warm-up, this is the most important thing of your warm-up, is going to be warming up for this complex. Doing it so you know the motion, so you don't screw up and put, we're so used to doing a deadlift into a hang clean in a lot of our workouts. A lot of people are probably gonna do that by accident. Instead of a deadlift, down to the floor clean, then into the hang clean, right? So make sure you know the complex and you've practiced it at a lighter weight in the warm-up so that it's, you're not trying to remember it or relying on your judge to tell you what to do next. The deadlift goes into a clean. Probably not going to need a mixed grip on a deadlift. You're not going to be really testing your deadlift here. The big test is going to be if you have a jerk that's lighter than your clean, your jerk number is the one you're going to go off of. If your clean is a lot lower than your jerk, you're probably going off your clean number. So if that's the case, you're going to have a lower number. Ideally, you want your jerk to be a little higher than your clean on this one. That way, no matter what you can get through on the clean, you could jerk it, right? Your clean after the deadlift has to touch the floor, so make sure you do that. This is the big part of this complex. We're coming from that clean, and you have to go from that clean to the hang. You saw, I think it was Spencer, almost lost it. Try to catch it against the hips, right against the hip crease, right where your leg meets your hip, and push it into that crease in the dip. Don't like hit it and then let it drop. That little drop, you could lose it there. That's a lot of pressure on your hands, and your hands are going to be massively fatigued from all that bar work you did in the first half. And that's why I say it's important. The grips, the wrist wrap, the chalk, the tape, whatever you're using, super important. So that when you go to that heavy hang clean, you can catch it. But if you have the right technique, catching it right against the top of the thigh and pushing it in and being able to pause right here, this is a great rest spot. This is a great regrip spot. From there, you can stand up, or if it's a good weight for you, drop it down into that bow, hit that clean, hang clean. So I saw some of them were doing squat cleans. For me, after all those squats in the first part, I'm not gonna have enough left to squat clean a heavy number. I'm much stronger power cleaner. Anything I could squat clean, I could power clean. So if my squat has been diminished, I'm just going with power cleans through this whole thing. My problem is the jerk, so that's what's probably gonna hold me back, and that's pretty much, I'm going for right around what my 1 rep max jerk is right now. That's the number I'm probably ideally aiming for, and I'm gonna start just under that, okay? So have a good idea of what you're gonna hit. Today's Thursday. I'm actually gonna try the complex. I'm gonna practice the complex today. Seeing I already pretty much practiced the workout on Wednesday. I'm gonna practice the complex today. That'll give me a good idea what my 85% is, 80%. That's about where I'll stop today too. That way I'm not doing any damage for tomorrow, but that'll give me a great base to warm up to. I suggest doing the same. As far as the other movements, if you haven't practiced them in a while, you might want to set up that single toe to bar, chest to bar station so that you've got that right. Thrusters front squat shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If they are, that's a serious problem. This is a great workout because everybody can play. Even that first thing, not having a thruster to start this thing, a lot of people that are in CrossFit can't do a 95-pound thruster, but they could do a 95-pound front squat. So they could get an RX score of at least 15 probably, and possibly gives them a chance to try to get that toe to bar. So I like 21.3 for that reason. I also like it. It's a lot of opportunity for 1 rep maxes here, or new PRs, right? The PR on the toes to the bar, the PR on the chest to bar pull up, the PR muscle up, the first muscle up, first on all those, right? And then going into 21.4 where we start to throw around heavy barbells. There's not much more exciting than that. Friday Night Lights is going to be people screaming. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. So all in all, I think these 3 workouts for the Open, I guess 4 workouts now, are all excellent. There's been no duds. And I know this one's not going to be a dud. It's set up for awesomeness. So good job on CrossFit. I like the 3-week format, much better than 5 weeks. After 3 weeks, pretty much most of the gyms burned out except for actually pretty much everybody's burned out after 3 weeks, especially if you're doing it twice. And as an affiliate owner, you're definitely burned out trying to keep on top of all this stuff, keep on top of everybody getting their scores in, and just keeping the hype up. So I like the 3-week, hope they stick with it. Hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys kill this one. Think about one and done. Go at this one like it's one and done. Know that if you rip, and you could rip, people rip at the drop of a dime. I told people not to rip on Wednesday when we did this, and they still ripped, but they didn't know they were gonna. It just goes when it goes. You don't want to rip on Friday, try it again on Monday, and then have a mess, and maybe, yeah, you're getting a better time on Monday because you're pushing harder, but you get halfway, you get through 20 bar muscle ups and the rip is so bad you can't go on. You just wrecked you're gonna be wrecked for a week at least of just being in pain, and that sucks, it's not worth it. So attack it one and done, and everybody has the same amount of time on that clean complex, so it's not like if you've got a chance to do great on both of them. It's set up pretty nicely for that. So that's about it, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.